Hello everybody and welcome back to your favourite channel on YouTube, and today I am bringing you something a little bit different. We're changing it up a little bit. I have dug up some relics, dusted everything off, and I have played through every single possible FIFA as the goalkeeper. This video also did take me a very long time to complete, so if you do enjoy it, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. And now let's crack on with the video. We are at the very beginning where it all began, FIFA 11 on the Xbox 360, the first game in the series that allows you to play as the goalkeeper. One of the first things to note is you could actually play as the goalkeeper in the kickoff game mode. Now the controls of the goalkeeper have not changed since this FIFA, they're exactly the same in FIFA 22 and all through the whole series. One of the only differences is the auto positioning only works when the opposition are near your box. The positioning of the camera is probably one of my favourite things. It's just behind your goal, but you can see the whole pitch and it doesn't move too much. Now onto my favourite thing is that I can take free kicks and penalties and go up for corners whenever I want to. All I have to do is push right bumper and you get teleported into the box for the corner or take over the free kick and the penalty. One of the biggest downsides for me was the movement. It could have been because of my broken controller, but it felt very stiff. Even holding left bumper, he wasn't moving, he just stayed still. Very tough to get him to move where he wanted to. On to the next installment, FIFA 12, and this is very similar to FIFA 11. The camera's a little bit different, the pitch is a bit more vibrant. You can still play in the kickoff game mode as well, which is a huge plus for me. The auto positioning still only works when the opposition are near your box, and you can still take free kicks, penalties, and go out for corners. The graphics are pretty similar, and I think the animations are all the same as well. I didn't see any new ones. I only played 2 games maximum for each game, otherwise I would have been here all week. One thing I did notice while playing the older games is the AI love to get stuck into a challenge. They love to do skill moves, it's great to see. My team didn't really ever score a goal, which is kind of disappointing. I did feel like I got to play a little bit more in the older games, more involved in the gameplay, coming up for corners, catching and punching, crosses galore. The AI love to whip a cross in, and they love a long range shot, which I think is great. And now we move on to the next game, which is FIFA 13, and it is very similar to FIFA 11 and 12. All of the animations seem to be exactly the same, but this penalty camera, I actually like it. From behind the goal, the little zoom in, I have not touched it editing wise, that is all in game and I like it. There is one major thing that I did notice, and I complain about this a lot in my FIFA 22 goalkeeper career mode. The animations aren't actually that bad in this one. You do get animations that match the movement. A lot of the time in FIFA 22 you'll dive the wrong way or not do a good animation. In this I never complained or noticed anything like that. I felt like I had full control of the goalkeeper. Whatever I told him to do, he did. The AI didn't try taking over from me and move me a certain way or anything like that. Even if I knew the ball was going miles wide, I could still dive for it, and I just thought it was a load of fun just to dive around on the floor for no reason. And like I said earlier, if I dived the right way, I did tend to get good animations to make the save. I wouldn't say it's overpowered though, I did concede a fair few goals. I also love the fact they take long range shots regularly. And now we are moving on to the first major shake-up of the series in FIFA 14, and this is the next gen consoles, going from 360 to Xbox One. It was also available on 360, but I've chosen to play the Xbox One version. Just look at how bright this pitch is, it's blinding going from the old gen to next gen. Personally, I actually prefer FIFA 13 compared to FIFA 14 for the way it looks. You still definitely have the ability to take free kicks. I'm not too sure about penalties, and I think this is the first one where for corners you can't actually go up unless it's a certain time maybe. I did try a few times, but it actually wouldn't let me go up. I did have the prompt to go up, but I'm assuming it will only let you if it's late on in the game and you're losing. One major negative is you cannot play goalkeeper or as any pro in kickoff anymore. You have to start a career if you want to play the Be a Pro game mode. Unless I was too dumb to figure it out, but I did search it up online, couldn't find anything, so you cannot play it in kickoff anymore from this game onwards. It was a pain because the plan was to play against Real Madrid in every game, but I chose Man City and Liverpool as the alternatives, which meant I had to sim through to get to those 2 games. And now we are on to FIFA 15, and I believe not a whole lot has changed in this game from FIFA 14 to FIFA 15, except one major thing which kinda dampens my mood a little bit. They've removed the chance to take free kicks and penalties from goalkeepers. And another thing is that the AI have started not jumping into tackles anymore. They don't tend to do skill moves anymore either. In the early ones they were whipping out skill moves left, right and centre. Nani was McGeady spinning everyone. The crossing into the box is still a regular thing. They seem to love it. It does change later on into the series, but for now it is very consistent. This is also the point where weird animations start to take over. They are a regular occurrence from this game onwards. You will see in some of the clips coming up that there's a few janky ones that don't really make much sense. The one there I dived over towards the ball diagonally for some reason, not across my goal. The AI still love to pop a long shot or two, and I can still make my dives for no reason, which I still love, but they do take it away in the coming games, which is very sad. But for now we are moving on to FIFA 16, and this is the last one before the next major change. From the matches I played in this game, the AI didn't tend to actually put me under that much pressure. Every time they shot it went wide, or they just crossed it and which I just punched out. It was kind of weird and I didn't quite feel like I was useful at all. Maybe I was just unlucky for those games. But now we are moving on to FIFA 17, and this is the biggest change of them all. EA have a new engine, the Frostbite engine is introduced, and I think this is where it all starts to go wrong for the goalkeepers. There is definitely more player collisions. I think you can run into players, they can block you off from getting back into line, which there is a clip later on. And from this point on, the AI does tend to take control of the saves you make. I did just play every game on basic settings and on legendary difficulty to give it a bit of an even playing field. You can see there's a few new animations here and there, that little tip over the bar, but on a regular occurrence you don't quite get the animation you're looking for. This is also when the camera starts getting pretty bad. It moves way too much than it should. The old camera was so good, just being dead still, I could see the whole pitch, but this one's moving left, right constantly, and later on it gets even worse personally. Now we're moving on to the next year, FIFA 18, the second year of the Frostbite, and this one I didn't really enjoy that much. I think it's very hit and miss. The first game I played against Man City, not a lot happened on my end. I didn't really have to make too many saves. It either went into the back of the net or it went wide. This game against Real Madrid, there's a lot that happens, and this save here, fantastic. I love those type of saves. Going across the box, get down low. These animations are great as well. But this is where the collision between the players tends to get pretty bad. You will see here, I get stuck on Chris Smalling, bouncing around everywhere, and later on I do get stuck on him again trying to save the ball. I don't know if it's in the next game or not, but you can see I'm making some great saves here. Good animations, nice and clean. The game's a bit too bright for my liking, but maybe I could have changed it in my own settings. But the game overall played okay. I didn't see too much jank going on. This game right here highlights the reason to play as a goalkeeper. Sometimes you do get nothing, but when you are on it, you are absolutely on it. They do score a great goal there, to be fair, but this is a good fun game. I enjoyed playing this one, even though we conceded there. But the Man City one, not so much, so it's very hit and miss. Now the next one is FIFA 19, and this is where all the FIFAs start merging together. They do all feel a bit samey. You could put me down in front of this game without telling me what it is, and I wouldn't be able to tell you which FIFA it was from the new ones. And this is a big problem, the collision. You see I get stuck on the player there, trying to get back to my own line, my own defender blocking me. I do make the save there, of course. Now going forward, this is where the animations get really bad. This one right here, what is going on? I don't know why he's trying to punch the ball. I know there is some settings you can change, but going on basic settings for everything is not what you want to be seeing. The ball is already in the back of the net, then he decides to try punching it for some reason. For the games I've played with this one, I didn't tend to get too many opportunities, so we're going to move on to FIFA 20. And this one has the same broadcast as FIFA 21 and FIFA 22, which is kind of disappointing. But these last three games, FIFA 20, FIFA 21 and FIFA 22, all feel exactly the same. You can't really tell the difference between any of them. And now it's got to the point in these games where the AI don't tend to take too many long shots at all. They don't tend to cross it either, just keep the ball on the edge of the box. My team don't make an attack the whole time either. So it kind of gets a bit boring. The leg saves come into play now as well, which is probably why the animations start getting really janky. That's a great save. It's probably the only save I've ever made with my legs. I also forgot to mention, in FIFA 17, managers are introduced on the sides of the pitch and you can interact with them. But you can see there, another dodgy animation doesn't dive the way I tell them to, and they're just appearing a lot more in these newer games. Now we are moving on to FIFA 21, and they got rid of the splash screens. I had a theme going on and they ruined it for me. Now I know in these FIFAs you can change a setting which gives you more control of the goalkeeper, but it shouldn't really be needed if you just want to jump in and play a game quickly. Since the last three games are pretty similar, let's talk about what you would like to see in the next FIFA. Goalkeeper wise, I think I'd like to have more control of how I make saves. Like this save here, I want to do a dive, does a weird foot animation. I should be able to dictate what I want in the save. Maybe be able to tell my defenders that there's a man behind him or something like that. A bit more interactiveness between the goalkeeper and the players. And the big major thing, I want to be able to take free kicks and penalties and go up for corners whenever I want. It's not real life. If you don't want me to do it, maybe give me a chance to upgrade my free kick or penalty ability so I'm the best one on the team, so I'm forced to take them. But it's a bit annoying. I like to take free kicks. I like to get a goal or two with a goalkeeper. But that is where the video ends. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And as always, look after yourself, stay safe, and I'll speak to you next time. Goodbye.